Maybe, Basetsana, let me start with you in terms of why now and why this new area.
Let me just see if I am audible myself.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Not quite. There we go. There we go. Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to see these gorgeous finalists in front of us this morning. You all look incredible, and you're in for the ride of your life. Why now? I think Miss South Africa as a pageant over the decades has really evolved in many ways. I mean, when Peggy and I entered in the 90s, it was soon after our democracy, as you probably will well know, that pre-1993, black women, we were not allowed to enter Miss South Africa. It was only the enclave of the white women. And so when JQ won in 1993, she really broke the mold for us to show that inclusivity and diversity is important within the Miss South Africa pageantry. And so in the 90s, Miss South Africa was really also about a new era. It was about a new dawn of a new democracy. And it was about inclusivity. It was about heritage representation. It was about young women being, the face of hope of what South Africa can be and can become. And so in our reign, I won in 94, Peggy and I call each other Umzala. So Kumalo, it's just the family thing. Say monopolize I won't get yeah, boy. So Umzala won in 96. And so at that time, it was a critical time in our history to give the platform relevance, to get the platform a stage where it could showcase what young women can achieve. And in the year 2000 and to where we find ourselves 2025, it's still such a relevant platform for empowerment, for transformation, for women, young women to really use it to catapult themselves into different facets of their lives. And so why the new era is exciting for me, particularly as a co-chair, it's really reigniting that essence of Miss South Africa, the importance of Miss South Africa in the times that we're living in. And when I reflect back on some of the winners that we've had over the years, these women have gone on to trailblaze, have gone on to do amazing things with their lives and their career paths. Some of them are doctors, bankers, we have lawyers, pharmacists, you name it. I mean, women across the different disciplines and industries that come from Miss South Africa, that understood the platform and how to use it to not only just take themselves forward, but the impact they can have to bring others along. So I always say that heavy is the head that wears the crown. And the duty of the crown is something that you cannot take for granted. And so I think with the new era, we're excited to see what you bring and to collaborate and really redefine what wearing the Miss South Africa crown really is all about.
And thank you very much for that, because I think that a lot of times when we're speaking about the crown and the duty, it's something that's been echoed within this new era, that it's about the duty of the crown and what it actually represents. Maybe Peggy, let's just talk a little bit here about the measurement of impact. Because it's one thing to say, I want to save the world, and I believe in world peace, but it's something to live up to it and to have tangible results that speak to it. So how are we going to ensure that the impact that we're speaking about is actually something that we can see and it resonates?
Good morning, everybody. It's such an honor for me to be here and to sit alongside my brilliant sister. So I am a mother of 2 girls, and I don't, over time, I think the word beautiful sort of, kind of disappears from the narrative, because I think, girls are brilliant. And when we are sort of, anchoring their brilliance and their greatness on this beauty, that's all people look at. And I've had to go through that myself personally, having pivoted from what I used to do into banking. I felt like at every turn I had to prove myself. And so I had to really think about being a mother of 2 girls, who are brilliant. That for me, brilliance is really what defines women in whatever space that they find themselves. So I'm so glad. First of all, I think it's an honor, to be a co-chair alongside Basi, who's really also a doyen in entrepreneurship in this country, really a change maker. And I think for me, for the young women sitting in this room, you need to look at the opportunity as a platform that you can leverage to empower yourself, to catapult yourself, but also to be a good role model. I miss that. I miss the space where people, instant fame and being on social media doesn't make you a good role model. What makes you a good role model is when you're authentic to yourself and those around you, where you are compassionate, you have empathy, and you want to uplift others, and you really want to contribute towards the upliftment of so many people in this country, especially the youth of South Africa and, of course, the African continent. And I'm so glad that, the new era also is underpinned by a Pan-Africa outlook. I think that is very important for South Africa to really play that role in terms of developing leadership and social change from a Pan-Africa perspective. When it comes to measurement, I'm glad that, I saw that as a key principle. And so Audrey, well done to you and the team for bringing that in, because we need to measure, right, what we do, measure the successes. And I think for me, it will be important for, the finalists to also sit back and say, if I had to take whatever initiative that I'm doing, that I champion, that I advocate, what is the measurement of that initiative and how is it impacting communities from where I come from? And I think, Faith, you mentioned it. I mean, one thing I love about you, when I listen to you and sometimes I just see sort of clips in social media, is your passion towards seeing change in honesty and accountability in our country. And I think for me that is so important. And so thank you for having that voice and bringing it out so that we can applaud it as a nation when